Dear student, today I'll explain to you about agriculture, that is from Geography, chapter 4. As far as agriculture is concerned in India, it is one of the most important occupations for the people of India. Around 70% of India's population is directly involved in agriculture. And at the same time, agriculture provides about 1/3 of India's national income and consists of major export articles such as tea and jute. The main factors that affect agriculture are geographical factors such as relief, soil and climate, that include the temperature, rainfall and humidity, and technological factors such as mode of irrigation, agricultural equipment, etc. Now, there are different forms of farming. Number one is subsistence farming. And under subsistence farming, there are again three types of farming again. Number one is primitive subsistence farming. The next one is shifting cultivations, or it is also known as zooming cultivation in Northeast India. And the third one is intensive subsistence farming. Now, what is subsistence farming? Now, in these types of farming, the main crops produced is consumed by the farmer's household, and there's very little that the farmers can sell in the market. In these types of farming, the farms are small and scattered, and in these types of farming, the farmer uses all agricultural implements or tools to grow a variety of crops depending on his needs. There are three types of subsistence farming, and that is primitive subsistence farming, shifting cultivation or zooming cultivations, or intensive subsistence farming. Now, what is primitive subsistence farming? In these types of farming, the size of the farm is very small, and the farmer along with his family works in a farm using primitive or old hand tools such as sickle or hoe, that is bone to claw in Mizo. And the farmers also depends on the monsoons, that is the rainfall, and use little or no scientific inputs. And animals are also reared. The soil is not enriched artificially, that is manure or chemical fertilizers are not used in such types of farming, and the yield is very low. And these types of primitive subsistence farming is practiced in places in Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, and northeastern states of India. The second one, that is the shifting cultivations or zooming cultivation. In these types of farming, share certain features with primitive subsistence farming. However, it has some distinctive characteristics which is different from primitive subsistence farming. Here, a patch of land is cut clear, and after that it is burned, and finally unburned trees are hacked out or left to decay naturally. Now, the ash of burned trees is then spread over the land on which the farmers grow crops to sustain their families. And after some few years, the soil loses its fertility, and the farmer moves with his family to make another clearing in a forest, and the region is left to regenerate itself. And after 4 or 5 years, again the same patch of land is used. By then, the soil regenerates the fertility, and The yield is very low because manure or chemical fertilizer is not used. And such types of farming is very common in all the tribal areas of India. Intensive subsistence farming. In this kind of farming, the size of the farm is small and the land is intensively cultivated. Fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides are used along with various modes of irrigation and genetically modified seeds. And the soil fertility is maintained by crop rotations and judicious use of fertilizers. The yield of crop is not high and it is mainly grown for domestic consumption, and the types of crops that are grown in such types of farmings are paddy, wheat, maize, millets, vegetables, pulses and oilseeds. The next one is commercial farming. And in commercial farming again, there are four types. That is intensive commercial farming, extensive commercial farming, mixed farming and plantation agriculture. And as far as commercial farming is concerned, it is practiced for the sale of crops in a market and can be intensive or extensive in nature. The first one, that is intensive commercial farming. In this type of farming, the size of the land holding is small due to fragmentations and irrigations, fertilizers, scientific methods of farming and use of hybrid seeds. And such types of farming is practiced in states like Punjab and Haryana. And in these types of farming, huge capital, labor and skill are involved so as to make a small area productive. Extensive commercial farming. In these types of farming, it is practiced mainly in a sparsely populated area where ample of land is available for cultivations. So such types of farming is practiced in the place where the population is land and there is more land. And the crops are raised for the sole purpose of sale in a market, whether it is for domestic or international. And advanced technology and machines and negligible use of unskilled human labor and draught animals are used, and these are the unique features of capital intensive farming. The next one is mixed farming. In this type of farming, it involves the raising of livestock and cultivations of crops on the same farm. And livestock animals provide substitute income when crops are not ready. And in these types of farm, modern machinery, good seeds and fertilizers are used to increase the yield per hectare. And it is usually practiced in a densely populated areas. And the last one is plantation agriculture. In such types of agriculture, a single crop farming is done, especially in a tropical regions, and it is also known as monoculture, because in such types of plantations only single crop is grown. And some major plantation crops are tea, coffee, plantain, spices, coconut and rubber. And such crops are raised on large estates of about 100 acres each. Those small holdings are also common in certain areas, and estates are scientifically managed. And Plantation farming is carried in many countries, in countries like India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia and Indonesia, etc. The climate of the country greatly influences the cultivation of agricultural crops. Tropical regions, due to their warm conditions, have a longer growing season. And in fact, in India, there are 3 cropping seasons, namely Kharif season, Rabi season, and the third one is Zaid season. Kharif season is associated with the onset of the southwest monsoon in the month of June to July, and it ends in September to October. And crops such as paddy, maize, jowar, bajra, etc. are grown in this season. The next one, Rabi season. This starts in the month of October to November and it ends in March and April. And at some places, dry farming is done during the Rabi season, and the main crops include wheat, grams, barley and mustard. The third one, that is Zaid season. It is an entering growing season between the 2 major cropping seasons. It begins in April and lasts till June. And this summer cropping season is used to grow watermelons, onions, pumpkin, brinjal and lady's finger. Food crops can be grouped under cereals such as rice, wheat, maize, millet, barley, rye and sorghum. Due to their easy cultivation methods and high nutritional value, they form the basic diet of humankind. Now, under cereals, there are different kinds of food crops like rice, wheat, millet, maize and pulses. Now, first of all, let me explain about rice. It is a kharif crop and it constitutes the staple food of millions of people in India. For example, in eastern parts of India, especially northeast, the staple food for most of the people is rice. Staple here means the main food, which is taken for meal. And it is widely grown throughout the country, starting from the north in Kashmir till to the extreme south of Kanyakumari. And the geographical condition and temperature required for the growth of rice are the mean annual temperature of 24 degrees Celsius with a range of 22 degrees Celsius and 32 degrees Celsius, and of course heavy rainfall. And where there is no heavy rainfall, irrigation is required. And the type of soil required for the growth of rice are alluvial soil, and the states where rice is grown are Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh, Assam, Maharashtra, Uttarakhand, etc. The next one, that is wheat. It is the second most important food crop grown in India after rice. And unlike rice, it is a Rabi crop, and for the growth of wheat, the temperature required is 10 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius for its growth, and about 20 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius at the time of harvest. The rainfall requirement is 50 cm to 75 cm and light rain during the growing season. And the types of soil required for the growth of wheat are drained soil and alluvial loam soil, and the variety of wheat grown in northern India is called bread wheat, while the variety grown in peninsular India is called durum wheat, used for making semolina. And Punjab is the leading producer of wheat in India, which is followed by Haryana, UP, Bihar, Rajasthan, and parts of Madhya Pradesh. The next one is millet. Under millets, jowar, bajra, and ragi are examples of millet. These crops are largely used as fodder, that is for feeding animals, and they are often known as coarse grains. And for growing millet, it requires little care and can grow in less water and poor soil. Jowar. It is grown in regions where dry farming is done because it does not require irrigation, as the moist after rain. As the soil is moist after rain, Clay, loamy or sandy loamy soils are best suited for the cultivations of jowar. And it is mostly grown in states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, etc. And it is a kharif crop. The next one, that is bajra. It is also a kharif crop, but it can be also grown during the rabi season as well. And it is used for both as food for the consumption of human being and of course for fodder for cattle. And the temperature required for the growth of bajra is ranging from 27 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius, and soils requirement is sandy loamy soils, which is more suitable for its cultivations, and Rajasthan is the largest producer of bajra in India. The next one, ragi. It is a kharif crop and which can also be grown during the rabi season. The temperature, the climate requirement is 50 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius of rainfall, and it grows on red or black stony loamy soils or well-drained alluvial loams. And Karnataka is the largest producer of ragi in India, followed by Andhra Pradesh. The next one, maize, which is also known as corn. It's a versatile crop. Maize is used both as food, the food for human consumption, and of course for the fodder for the cattle. It is a coarse grain grown in the kharif seasons, and it grows on old alluvium soil, that is Bangar, and the temperature requirement is ranging between 20 to 30 degrees Celsius, and the rainfall requirement is 50 centimeter to 100 centimeter of rainfall. And if rainfall is low, good irrigation facilities are essential, and states like UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab and Karnataka accounts for 75% of its production in India. The next one, that is pulses. India is the largest producer as well as the consumer of pulses in the world. And in pulses, the crops that includes are beans, lentils, food grains such as grams, and dals such as moong, masoor, tur, and urad dals. Being dry or coarse crops, they require very little moisture, and pulses are leguminous plant, that is pea family, and so they help to restore the fertility of the soil, that is they enrich the soil by releasing nitrogen. And the major states in India where pulses are grown are Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Punjab, etc. Oilseeds. Oilseeds play a very important role in the Indian economy, and India leads the world in oilseed production and is one of the chief producers and exporters of mustard, sesame, groundnut, safflower, cottonseed, sunflower, soybean, castor and linseed oil. Groundnut. India is a leading producer of groundnuts, and Andhra Pradesh is the largest producer of groundnut in India, and it is followed by Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Gujarat and Maharashtra. And groundnut is grown in a tropical and subtropical areas with temperature ranging between 20 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius, and it requires low amount of rainfall, and this edible oilseed is a drought resistant crop. Rapeseed and mustard seed. Rapeseed and mustard are the two most important oilseeds of northern India. These are grown as rabi crops, and the requirement of temperature is between 10 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius during the period of growth, and during the time of harvest 25 degrees Celsius of temperature is required, and they also need moderate amount of rainfall and grow on alluvial or sandy loamy soils. UP, Punjab, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh, etc. are the states where these crops are produced. Sesame is a kharif crop which can be also grown as a rabi crop in South India, and it requires a hot and wet types of climate with temperature between 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius and a rainfall between 50 to 100 centimeter. It is difficult for this crop to survive long period of drought or heavy rainfall. So which means the presence of too much water or without water, in such cases this crop won't survive. So the types of crop, the types of soil that is required for the growth of sesame are red or black soil, and states like Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, etc. are the major areas of productions. Linseed. It is a rabi crops, and it requires temperature between 15 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius and a moderate amount of rainfall from 40 centimeter to 75 centimeter. And the types of soil required for the growth of linseed is alluvial or clay soil. And Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, UP, Maharashtra and Chhattisgarh are the states where linseed is grown. Castor seed. India is the largest producer of castor seed after Brazil. It is grown both as kharif and rabi crop, and for the growth of castor seed, temperature should range between 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius with moderate rainfall and deep loamy soil. Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, etc. are the states where castor seeds is grown in India. Cash crops. These crops are primarily grown as raw materials for industries, and they are also known as commercial or cash crops. Cash crops. Crops that are primarily grown as raw materials for industries are known as commercial or cash crops, and they're usually grown on plantations as they play a significant role in the economy of the country, provide raw materials for several industries, and earn valuable foreign exchange. And in cash crops, these are the crops which are included in cash crops that are sugarcane, rubber, beverage crops like tea and coffee. Sugarcane. Sugarcane is a tall tropical and subtropical plant, and it is the main source of sugar, gur, that is kurtai, and khansari. It's an annual crop and requires a warm and wet type of climate with temperature ranging between 20 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius, and a rainfall is about 100 centimeter to 300 centimeter. And the types of soil required for the growth of sugarcane are fertile alluvial soils as well as black soil, and where manure is also needed. UP, Maharashtra, Karnataka, etc. are the states where sugarcane is grown. Rubber, it is the coagulated sticky milk or latex of a rubber tree. The plant is grown in large estates and requires warm and moist climate with temperature ranging between 21 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius, and the amount of rainfall is between 200 to 300 centimeters, and it requires rich, deep and well drained alluvial soil. Gently sloping area is most suited for the growth of rubber plant, and it is mainly grown in states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Beverage crops. Beverage means drink. Beverage crops consisting of tea and coffee provide the early morning cup that cheers, and they are exclusively grown as plantation crops in tropical and subtropical regions of India, and it also play a significant role in international trade. Tea. India is home to the most aromatic tea in the world. An important beverage, India is one of its leading producer and consumer in the world. In recent time, tea has been considered as the national drink for India. A tropical and subtropical plant, tea is a perennial crop, means lasting. It grows on well-drained mountain slopes and requires a temperature ranging between 10 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius. However, the stagnations of water can be harmful for the growth of tea. That's the reason why it is mainly grown on a mountain slopes. Heavy rainfall of 150 cm and 250 cm is required for the growth of tea plants, and the types of soil required is sandy, loamy, nitrogen-rich soils with high fertility, and most of work such as plucking leaves, fermenting, grading or sorting is done by hand. And tea is mainly grown in Brahmaputra Valley of Assam, Jalpaiguri and Darjeeling areas of West Bengal, and the Nilgiri and the Cardamom Hills of South India. Coffee. Coffee is another important beverage and perennial crop like tea. India produces nearly 4% of the world's coffee, and coffee can be grown in a hot and humid climate with temperature ranging between 50 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. Although direct sunshine is injurious to coffee plants, it requires high amount of rainfall between 125 cm and 200 cm. And rich and well-drained soil is essential for the cultivation of coffee plants. And it is also grown on hill slopes so that the water may not stand in the roots of the tree. Nilgiri Hills in the states of Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu are the places in India where coffee is grown. Horticulture crops. By horticulture means the practice of growing fruit and vegetables. India grows both temperate and tropical variety of fruits. Fruits like mangoes, bananas, guavas, lychees, oranges, pineapples, apples, cherries, walnuts, and pears. And of course, vegetables are grown all over the country. UP, West Bengal, Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra are famous for a wide variety of mangoes. The Alfonso mangoes of Maharashtra are exported worldwide. Nagpur and Meghalaya are the largest producer of oranges. Bananas are largely grown in Maharashtra and southern states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka and Kerala. And UP and Maharashtra are the main producer of lychees and guavas. And pineapples are grown abundantly in Meghalaya, while grapes are cultivated in Andhra Pradesh. The hill slopes of Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir yield the best apples, cherries, apricots, walnuts and pears. And as far as vegetables are concerned, it is grown in almost all the states of India. Fiber crops. By fiber means thread for making textile. And under fiber crops, the two main crops, that is cotton and jute, that are grown in India. And hemp is also grown, but it is not used commercially, though it is very similar to jute in texture. Another fiber that not a direct plant product is silk. Silk is derived from the cocoons of the silkworms that feed on mulberry leaves. It is now a commercial occupation called sericulture, but we're not going to discuss about sericulture here. Now, under fiber crops, like I say, that there are two main crops, that is jute and cotton. Cotton is the most important natural fiber used in making clothes, and it can be grown in black soils and alluvial or sandy loamy soils. The temperature required is hot to mild and wet type of climate, where the temperature should be ranged between 20 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius, and a good amount of rainfall, that is between 50 centimeter to 120 centimeter, which should be fairly distributed throughout the year. However, frost is harmful for its growth. Any rain during the harvest time is bad for the crop, as the cotton gets discolored. So dry weather is needed at the time of harvest. And it is mainly grown as a kharif crop, but can be also grown as a rabi crop in a warmer areas. Maharashtra, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, UP, etc. are the states where cotton is grown. The next one is jute. It is also known as a golden fiber because our country could earn huge amount of foreign exchange from its exports, and it grows best in rich deltaic or alluvial soil. which are renewed annually by floods. It also requires hot and wet type of climate with temperature ranging between 21 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius and rainfall between 150 cm and 200 cm. And it also requires standing water in the form of pools or ponds for the purpose of setting. All types of gunny bags, that is bora in Mizo, sacks, ropes, mats and other packaging materials are made from jute, and it's a biodegradable, and this is one of the major reasons why it is in great demand for different purposes everywhere. Jute is mostly produced in states like West Bengal, northern Bihar, Assam, Mahanadi Delta of Orissa.